Hey dudes, this is a quick instruction guide on how
Okay. Up there. Where did my webcam go? Of course, I try this and then everything goes kaput. Yeah. Let's try this. Alright. Come on. There we go. Better check. Everything else looks good. Yep. Cool. Okay, well, not the smooth start that I was hoping for, but it is what it is. Hey everyone in the YouTube sphere. I honestly was hoping to do this on this whole stream on Twitch, but unfortunately Twitch wouldn't work for me. So I'm here. What do I want? I guess I'll do webcam only. And I'm gonna, maybe it's just loud in my ears. I don't know. Yeah, that's pretty loud. So yeah. Hey, how's it all going, y'all? So yeah, I've been gone for probably a whole month. Not a whole month, a whole year. Wow, I am so out of it. You'd think that I'd be more on top of it, but that's why I wanted to do this on Twitch, because I honestly wanted to use that platform to do all my troubleshooting. I'm hoping to start streaming there a lot more at some point. Let me grab this real quick. Move back to this. I'm just working in OBS, just getting some stuff up and working. So yeah, the song that's currently playing has actually been something that I commissioned out of Seinway Fox like a year and a half ago. So a lot of my videos started with this song. It's called something about people. It's a lot of people out here. So yeah, that's what it is. I don't plan on streaming too long, honestly. I'm gonna probably try to do some reactions, I suppose. But I don't really plan on like fully going crazy with the uploads until probably July. And I say crazy, I'm really going to try my hardest to subdue myself a little bit. I'm actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna go and share this link on Twitter. Why don't I go to live scene? So yeah, please bear with my awkwardness forever, because this is gonna take some used to getting to. So let's make sure this is the shareable link. Oops. Cool, it is. So let's go to my last post, which was this. And yeah, I was totally off because I honestly thought that I was going to be, actually, I might make this a whole new thing. I was, uh, thinking of being on Twitch and all that. So yeah. Um, let's go with I'm live on the tubes. Yay! So, yeah, we'll see how this goes. If it's a whole lot of nothing, then it's a whole lot of nothing. I don't expect very much today because, like I said, this is kind of out of the blue. I've been gone for a solid year and a half, and year and a half. And as you can tell, my brain is not quite back up to speed with the whole YouTube you guys thing. So I better just kind of. I'm a fidgety type person, so I'm going to be kind of messing around with stuff as I talk to you guys. So, what have I been up to this last year and a half? Well, I don't know if any of you guys who are probably, if you're gonna watch this later, I don't know if any of y'all actually remember what I used to do for as an employment. I used to be a lighting designer. I used to be a stagehand at a local community college. And I used to work there for 19 hours a week, making about $15 an hour, which honestly wasn't sustainable. And so finally, it got to the point where I needed to actually get a real job, basically. So I applied to a local TV station, and initially I wanted to be what they call a CG operator. It's basically the person that does all the graphics. And they make the graphics sometimes, and basically they'll display it during a newscast. And then I was like, okay, I can do that. You know, I've done all the YouTube stuff, and I know my way around a Premiere Pro. And it turned out that the day I interviewed, they had already given the job to someone else. So I was like, okay, crap. But the person who interviewed me was like, hey, why don't you apply to a producer position? Producers are people that write the scripts and for the shows, and you know, they make the newscasts. And I was like, okay, you know, being a theater person, I know my way around a script. And so I went headfirst into it. And needless to say, I got the job as a morning show producer. And it was a quite a bit of a struggle. There was a lot higher learning curve than I was totally expecting. From what it sounded like in the interview, it was like, oh, it's just a person that writes scripts and calls it a day. It's a lot more than that. It turns out to be a huge leadership job. I actually have to make decisions and tell people what to do, the people being reporters. And so it actually took a long time for me to kind of grasp this job. And I've been there for over a year now, and I'm still struggling to grasp fully how to be a producer, at least a news producer. But that's really what I've been up to. And so my job, I literally wake up at midnight, and then I try to be at work by 1 in the morning. And I'm there until about 10:30, 11 in the morning, which turns out to be about a 9 to 9.5 hour shift. So it's quite a haul. And so that's why I also haven't really been streaming. It's because I'm working 9 hours a day, in a very depressing job, mind you. I'm literally, part of my job is to tell the news. And so when I'm writing this, I'm constantly writing about fires, shootings, accidents, all sorts of like crappy stuff that goes on. And so it's such a draining job that I wasn't sure if I really could get up the energy. And if you guys seen a lot of my most recent videos, I was tired as heck. And I'm still constantly tired. There's really no getting away from that. So I'm just wanting to teach myself how to get back. Hey Neo, thanks. Thank you so much, man. It's been a while. It's been a hot minute. Hey, my text backs actually work. Yeah, thanks. I really appreciate it, dude. You've been there since the beginning, and really appreciate you coming back and just coming. Didn't think anybody would come and say hi, so I really appreciate that. So, um, so yeah, that's honestly what I've been up to, and the reason why now am I coming back or trying to come back? And there's been a couple things. Um, I'm actually gonna reduce the chat back. So I made it a minute, and now it's gonna annoy me. 1 second. Like I said, this is all gonna be a bit of a learning curve as I try to adjust. Oh, here it is. So yeah, made it 60 seconds. Let's go with 30. Okay. So, um, yeah. So yeah, why now? And couple things. So, first things first, I've been getting back into watching anime. That was actually a huge issue too for last year and the year back, was that I stopped watching anime because none of it looked good to me. And to be honest, there's still not a lot that looks good to me, but I am pushing myself to go and watch it regardless. And I'm finding some gems here and there. For the most part, a lot of it is what I expected it to be, which is kind of a terrible, yeah, it's kind of a terrible thing to think about, but it is what it is. So, why am I now getting back into anime? Um, I just kind of told myself to get over it. And I thought that some of the things that bothered me, I could really talk about, mostly on that Talking Nerdcore podcast. And I'm thinking of revamping that podcast a little bit too, because it was kind of a pain to try and get people on it. Some people wanted to be on it just for the recognition. Some people wanted to be on it for um, who didn't actually want to contribute to the discussion. And it was just, it was kind of awkward. It was very awkward. And so I still plan on having guests, but I think I'm gonna go and do a lot more solo content. And what really kind of prompted it was actually watching Toradora of all shows. I'm not gonna spoil too much on my thoughts, but I was so frustrated at the end of the show that I literally sat down and was like, I need to talk about this. And so I'm already kind of coming up with a because that show, the ending bugged the crap out of me. And so I was doing that, and I was also kind of sitting there thinking, what other shows have I watched that I might want to go back into and talk about? And like Erased. I went and watched Erased back actually when I had a girlfriend. Me and my ex watched it together, and we had different thoughts, and that was kind of fun. I think I actually enjoyed that anime. I might need to go and rewatch it a little bit. So yeah, wow, I can't breathe. It's been a while since I've done this. It really, really has. Um, I've also worked on my microphone. But beforehand, I would have my microphone stacked on like 3 or 4 volumes of manga. It was actually quite hilarious. It was made in Abyss manga, and it ended up being kind of clunky. Now still have my microphone in front of me. I'm maybe thinking of getting a pole arm at some point, but I'm cheap and don't really want to buy one, even though they're super cheap at Walmart. Uh, so I'm gonna maybe hold off on that, but it's right here. I've actually adjusted the settings, and so if I'll probably be tweaking that within the next couple streams here and there. So yeah, wow. I'm like, I it's been a while since I've actually talked like that constantly. I'm a little out of breath. Manga mic, kind of, yeah, yeah. Just stacking my mic on top of a stack of manga, and it was all made at Abyss because they're pretty much the only ones I have. But uh, it was also like, hey, I actually want to read it, so it became more of a hassle because I would have to pick up my mic, put it somewhere, and with the stack of manga, and it was just so clunky. Like, why am I doing this? Why can't I just move the mic around and try to keep my desk clean? And that was actually a huge part of it. Too was I could never keep my desk clean, and so I actually worked hard. And if you notice, I'm in the same room as before, but I rotated my desk 90 degrees. So instead, beforehand, the window was to my right, and it was constantly like glaring, and it was actually ruining my cameras because of how bright the light was. And so I had to go and get a new webcam. And now I've moved it so I am facing the window, and I think that's actually helped a lot more. I've also have another light that's added to my camera, and I've got another one right here. Haven't really figured out how to use this one yet. This is a nice little colorful uh light that shows the RGB. I'm not really going to mess with it right now because I've still got to figure out that. So yeah, you remember the lighting issues? It's constantly a nightmare. It is constantly a nightmare, but I'm thinking it's gonna be a lot better. So yeah, that's honestly really what I've been up to. Just working nearly 45 to 50 hours a week. And then on top of that, I also work for my church and do a lot of church stuff. So I don't actually plan on doing a lot of streaming on Sundays. In fact, I might not stream at all on Sundays. Not 100% sure about that. But I wanted to today just because I really wanted to put myself out there and really, really go about it. So yeah, that's honestly it. Really, there's really not much else to talk about it. I was kind of thinking of going through just kind of what my channel is, because I've actually avoid looking at my channel during that my incredibly long hiatus. Sometimes I do have the YouTube Studio app on my phone, and sometimes I'll accidentally open it up, but for the most part I've avoided it, and I've got to say, quite pleased with 656 subscribers. I think it's still weirdly increasing. That just blows my mind. But it looks like a lot of it is actually because of my Kingdom Hearts videos. Let me take a quick look at these comments. Wow, that's a lot of comments. What happened to Arena and Lorium seems to be one of my best videos ever. So I might just kind of spend some time here and go through it. This is a chill stream today. I might end up doing some reactions. I'm not 100% sure. The thing about the reactions is that I've actually watched a lot of recent stuff. Like, I'm all caught up to Fable, I'm all caught up to Divide, and I'm more or less caught up to Rustage. There's a lot of Rustage songs that I haven't looked into, but for the most part, anything within the last month or two, I've listened to. So, yeah. So I do want to get back into making the Kingdom Hearts videos, because as you can tell, those seem to be the ones that people actually enjoyed watching somehow. So I might get back into it. Can't believe them two got real names. Can we bring them? They've been producing so many songs. Yeah. I noticed that Zach B went on a bit of a hiatus too, and he's kind of putting things back. I've listened to his most recent song, so I might, and that's another thing is that I'm kind of thinking about doing, is doing more breakdown videos, not necessarily a reaction, because I've listened to Omori before. I've been bumping Omori. I've been bumping Against My Tide. So, like, I've been listening to them a lot, and I went and watched the Rustage Ben 10 stream. When the version that he posted it on his channel. I didn't watch the whole stream. So but it's that type of stuff where it made me think, hey, maybe I want to do more breakdowns instead of reactions, because things like artists like DPS, Daddy Fat Snaps, I am not gonna get anything. Rustage too. A lot of the times my reactions to Rustage and DPS are terrible, because I'm spending most of the reaction just trying to understand what the heck they're saying. And I'm more of an audible person. That's why I love Zach B so much, is because everything is so simple that he raps about, and I enjoy that. I'm very much an audible. I prefer it sounding good. So that's why I like reacting to Zach B and Divide and Fable more than Rustage and DPS. So, and that's not to say they don't